Hi everyone, Big Thinny Nerf Tano here, internet's busiest geometry nerd, and it's time for a review of this KRMAL verified Extreme Doom MEGACOLLAB, Phobos. Highly prestigious XL MEGACOLLAB hosted by GMTSean, Phobos, a level that is definitely more well known for its legacy than its quality. With it being created in 2015 to 2016, it contains some of the most well-developed and best creators of the time period. Yet the level never necessarily seems to catch its stride in the deco department. This level was clearly made to be a hard level and not much else. It has much of an influence on MEGACOLLABs to come though due to its legacy and some pretty experimental gameplay styles in some parts, definitely separating itself from other top 1 demons at the time. However, these gameplay choices often lead to not the most consistent or fun times for most players. Despite losing its top 1 status with its nerf, Phobos was made purely to be difficult and threatening, as clearly shown by the end screen of the level. And to be honest, besides the song, I don't really think Phobos nails exactly what something harder than a bloodbath should feel or look like. While Phobos is not a thrown together level, it certainly does feel that way. Each part transitions often very roughly into the next and is definitely uncoordinated. To be fair, most MEGACOLLABs don't often see a theme or some sort of coherence from part to part, and Phobos was a much earlier level where concepts most certainly weren't so present, especially in collab levels. One word that can clearly describe this level is messy, and that's not just in terms of decoration, it can be basically applied to anything. A lot of this level just feels like it's scattered around and not really a cohesive piece in most of the parts. Take, for example, Nitro's wave part at 26%. A lot of the decorations overlap each other and don't mesh well together. Tons of random pulsing objects scattered throughout the part, mindlessly, as well as these odd-looking clouds that are not placed consistently. The dark red and the bright pink in this part definitely don't complement each other very well either. I do think though that the use of player colors takes your eye off that color scheme depending on the player color. Then it transitions into IBLADE's part, which is definitely one of the highlights in this level for me. I think the opaque red glow actually works well here to bring out some of the blocks which are pretty dark and blend in with the background. Block designs are nothing special, but not cluttered and look clean enough. Saw blades aren't overbearing with detail either. Although I think the use of the player color later in this part is a bit odd, since it doesn't really add much to the part. However, I don't think it takes away from the highlights. Joe 2000's part continues with this messy look after the pretty basic 1.9 ship part, but because of the tight nature of this wave, I think it actually finds its way to be cohesive. Especially I think what makes this actually work is the warm colors that bounce off each other pretty well. In Iquar 99's part, none of the air decoration seems random and fills in the space quite nicely, as well as the beams of glow in between the blocks that actually make the part a lot flashier and better looking overall. The brick designs are also lit up with some glow behind them, giving them a little bit more substance. However, Kubson's part is the definition of a mess, which is all one color. Nothing sticks out in particular, and every single detail blends into one another, just creating one scattered piece of abstract soullessness. Then a bit later comes what is probably one of the ugliest parts in any popular Extreme Demon to date. KRMAL's part has random purples and reds paired up with each other that are constantly overlapping, as well as some blues in there. Nothing blends well here, and there's so much random air decoration, it just screams early 2.0 when someone is trying their best to learn the editor. The clouds with the black outlines also do not pair well with any of this blending decoration. It's just one huge mess of a part that sticks out like a sore thumb and kind of symbolizes the level as a whole. Maybe that's too much of an insult. However, soon after, we get Woogie's part, which is probably my favorite part of the whole level. The use of the 2.0 move triggers is done masterfully for the time. The block designs are advanced with many different types of block choices and fit nicely with the rest of the 1.9 parts in this level. Tons of air decoration that all work together nicely with their different tones of reds. While the level doesn't end on much of a strong note, in my opinion, there are a decent amount of solid highlights in this level, and there's also a fair share of some basic 1.9 parts that never really seem to stick out and aren't often unique to other levels before its time. And to be honest, I think this is a perfect representation of modern MEGACOLLABs today. Inconsistent and incohesive. Gameplay-wise, I do think it looks pretty unfair at points, and probably annoying to play from zero. However, I feel like this level does have the legacy and moments behind it to where it's not the worst thing in the world. Although legendary in its own right, I do think that the level is definitely flawed in many spots. I'm feeling a decent to strong 4 on this one. Transition. Have you given this level a play? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best. You're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Geometry Dash's Fantano, GMTSean and more. Forever.